Welcome to New Sky TV. It's explosive. How deep are Wang Haozhen's feelings for Guo Yuxin? From co-stars to unspoken understanding, their on-screen and off-screen interactions are full of details. The most captivating couple in the short drama circle recently is undoubtedly Wang Haozhen and Guo Yuxin. One is an emotionally charged actor known as a detail-oriented male lead, and the other is a short drama female lead with an inherent sense of story and vulnerability. Every time they appear together, they almost perfectly hit the audience's sweet spot. From their first collaboration, Wang Haozhen and Guo Yuxin didn't seem like newly acquainted partners. In the short drama Bringing Home the National Husband, the two not only have numerous scenes together but also several memorable close-up interactions. Especially the scene where he feeds medicine with his mouth. The camera didn't even try to be sentimental, but Wang Haozhen's hesitation when he lowered his head and the momentary softening in his eyes instantly broke the audience's defenses. It wasn't a formulaic sweetness, but a restrained expression of genuine emotion. Many viewers later noticed a detail upon rewatching. In that scene, Wang Haozhen's gaze wasn't serving the camera, but rather constantly fixed on Guo Yuxin's face. It wasn't about checking positions or waiting for the camera to move. He was completely immersed in her emotions. This state seemed so unnatural. In their second collaboration, the new drama Meteor Shower, their chemistry visibly improved. At the opening ceremony, while others took photos, they whispered to each other, occasionally exchanging smiles. Wang Haozhen subconsciously positioned himself to the side of the crowd, and when Guo Yuxin spoke, his body always leaned slightly forward. These weren't scripted, but seemed like instinctive reactions developed through long-term collaboration. Even more subtle was their avoidant intimacy. They didn't deliberately promote themselves or engage in high-profile interactions, yet subtle details always caught their attention. If she walked slowly, he would naturally slow his pace. If she adjusted her clothing, his gaze would immediately shift but quickly return to confirm. In photos, their knees were always very close, yet they always maintained a just right distance. This state is precisely what makes people most intrigued. Many industry insiders describe Wang Haozhen as an actor who can express love through emotion. His performances never rely on exaggerated movements, but rather on his eyes, poses, and breathing. Guo Yuxin, on the other hand, is the kind of actress who can connect with her co-stars' emotions. She doesn't steal the spotlight, but amplifies her co-stars' feelings. Therefore, when these two stand together, the performance ceases to be just acting, but rather flows with a tacit understanding. So, did Wang Haozhen develop feelings for Guo Yuxin? Perhaps no one can definitively say, but one thing is certain: if this is merely a collaboration, then they are incredibly heartfelt. If it's just acting, then the audience is willing to be deceived time and time again. After all, what truly captivates audiences is never the official announcement, but the subtle details that cannot be hidden. Such actions, seemingly insignificant, are precisely what most easily reveal a person's true emotions. Because it's not a performance in front of the camera, nor a thoughtful setup requested by the staff, but an almost unconscious, instinctive reaction. Wang Haozhen didn't deliberately try to show how considerate he was. Instead, his quiet presence, standing quietly to the side, unassuming and unassuming, yet always focused on Guo Yuxin, was what truly resonated. A staff member privately revealed that on the set of Meteor Shower, as long as Guo Yuxin was adjusting her emotions or preparing for the next scene, Wang Haozhen rarely strayed far. He wasn't the type to chat frequently or create a lively atmosphere, but he was always there when needed. Offering water, reminding her of her position, checking if the ground was slippery. He handled these small tasks naturally and skillfully, as if they were second nature. Even more intriguing was the contrast. When the camera turned to other actresses, Wang Haozhen quickly reverted to a polite and restrained state, maintaining a perfect social distance, with almost no unnecessary physical contact or emotional expression. But the moment Guo Yuxin appeared, his gaze would unconsciously follow her, and his entire aura would soften. This contrast is undeniable. Some say that an actor's eyes are the most honest. Especially for someone as reserved as Wang Haozhen, who doesn't express emotions verbally. All his concern, care, and nervousness are written in his eyes. In many of his scenes with Guo Yuxin in Meteor Shower, his gaze lingers for half a second longer than the script suggests, a half second filled with emotion, devoid of dialogue. This creates a strong sense of immersion for many viewers. They're not watching a prearranged couple, but rather observing two people slowly approaching each other, tentatively testing the waters. This ambiguous tension doesn't stem from exaggerated plot points, but from genuine trust and reliance between them. Therefore, rather than questioning are they really together, perhaps more important is that during the intense, fast-paced filming of this short drama, Wang Haozhen was willing to give his most vulnerable and authentic self to Guo Yuxin without reservation. This in itself is an extremely precious emotional connection. As for the answer, time will tell. But at least during the time of Meteor Shower, their tacit understanding and closeness were enough to move viewers. It is precisely because these unintentional moments were constantly captured that the emotional tension of Meteor Shower transcended the script itself. Many viewers later discovered when reviewing the behind-the-scenes footage that Wang Haozhen's nervousness wasn't limited to scenes required by the plot, but permeated the entire filming process. Whenever he got even slightly closer to Guo Yuxin, he would noticeably stiffen, his gaze would wander, and even his breathing would become unconscious. This physiological reaction was far more honest than any dialogue. What's even more intriguing is that he wasn't like this with every intimate scene. With other co-stars, Wang Haozhen was usually professional and calm, quickly getting into character and quickly detaching himself. Only in front of Guo Yuxin did his character boundaries seem to be subtly broken. The scene stopped, but the emotions hadn't completely subsided. This uncontrollable immersion made many people realize that the appeal of Meteor Shower might not just be due to the plot design, but because the emotions themselves flowed genuinely. One fan described it as feeling like two people traveling on the same track, not needing to deliberately get close, but always naturally side by side. Wang Haozhen's protective instincts aren't loudly proclaimed, but rather hidden in his subconscious actions. Guo Yuxin's trust isn't acted out, but rather a willingness to reveal her most relaxed side to the other. One is willing to care, the other dares to rely. This relationship itself is enough to linger in the mind. And it's precisely because of this that the outside discussion has intensified. Is it an emotion stemming from the characters, or does the emotion, in turn, shape the characters? No one dares to draw a conclusion easily. But what is certain is that in the scenes of Meteor Shower, the audience sees more than just a lovable couple, but rather two actors showing their most tender and authentic selves around each other. Perhaps what truly moves people isn't the question of are they actually together, but rather the details recorded by time, those heart-fluttering moments that cannot be arranged or replicated. This is why this relationship appears particularly restrained and exceptionally touching. For actors, reason often precedes emotion. They understand the boundaries and limits beyond the camera's lens better than anyone else. Perhaps it is this clarity that led Wang Haozhen to transform his unspoken care into a glance, a stance, and a silent protection. Unspoken, yet undeniably present. In the complex and ever-changing entertainment industry, finding a partner with whom one can wholeheartedly dedicate oneself and achieve mutual success is a rare stroke of luck. For Wang Haozhen, Guo Yuxin's relationship is perhaps more than just partner. It's an unspoken understanding, a reliance of mutual trust during high-pressure filming, and a safe haven where emotions can flow naturally. Even without a future, such a relationship is enough to leave a significant mark on his career. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next video. Thank you.